Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to welcome all of my fellow colleagues back to the House for our final winter sitting of the 6th Assembly. Also like to say tungisugit to all the Nunavut who are watching our proceedings today. Mr. Speaker, I'd intended on raising the topic of Arctic security and sovereignty, but I will have to give the Premier put the Premier on notice for today. Mr. Speaker, my questions today will be for the Minister of Justice, and the topic will be community corrections. Mr. Speaker, this is a topic which I raised last winter on March 7th, 2024. Mr. Speaker, at that time I spoke for the purpose of parole officers, also known as community corrections officers here in Nunavut. Now they play a crucial role in our justice system by supervising offenders on probation or conditional sentencing, contributing to public safety, while also supporting those offenders' reintegration into communities. I'd like to ask the Minister if he'd be able to provide an update to the House today as how many community corrections officers there are, and more importantly, how many individuals are they currently supervising? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister of Justice, Mr. David Akaro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Speaker, in total, the community corrections has 27 positions. Out of those, 21 are community corrections officers, and they're located in all of the communities. And right at the current, as of February 2025, there are a total of 428 clients. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
For supplementary, Mr. Lightstone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank the Minister for providing an update on the status of community corrections officers, and it seems like they do have quite a heavy load. Mr. Speaker, returning to last winter's sitting when I brought this issue up, on that day I spoke of an article about another life lost to domestic violence and another conviction of an individual who's on probation and in breach of court orders. Mr. Speaker, I'd also like to reiterate again, I'm very concerned with the rate at which we continue to read news articles of individuals who are on convictions or who are convicted while on parole, probation, or court orders. I'd like to ask the Minister if he'd be able to provide an update to Nunavut on how many individuals or clients that are under community corrections supervision have reoffended so far this fiscal year. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Justice, Mr. David Akaro.
You, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't have those statistics in terms of how many are repeat or how many have how many under that. I don't. If I understand, I don't think we collect that data. What we have been focused is in a bigger picture of how many clients there are. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Second and final supplementary, Mr. Lightstone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I recently read a job advertisement for community corrections officer, and in the job description it did state that community corrections officer will play a role in collaboration with RCMP on any investigations of individuals who have breached their conditions while under the correction officer's supervision. Mr. Speaker, I strongly believe that this issue of 5% contributing to 95% of the crime is hindering public safety. And I would like to ask the Minister to assure Nunavut that he will closely monitor this situation with the intent of enhancing supervision, especially for high-risk offenders or clients under community corrections, who have a past history of committing violent crimes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Justice, Mr. David Acero.
Mr. Speaker, I really appreciate the member for continuing to advocate for this, and it's something that I share that too, and something that our department continue to strive on in terms of how to do better and how to keep our public safe, and that's something that I will continue to work within my capacity and in directing our staff in ensuring that these expectations are met, and something that I just wanted to thank my colleague for raising it, and I encourage him to continue to raise for it, because the more voices we have on this, the more it gets strengthened. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, question.